If you're watching this video, just know, your mental health matters, your life matters, and of course, you matter. I, BC King, care about you. What is up, YouTube Kingdom, and welcome back to another tournament video. Now, this is the start of kind of a mini-series here on tournaments where we do like a series of tournaments that all are around the same theme. So we're gonna rank every single Pokemon. Now, I know I've done tier lists on these, like, every Pokemon type in the past, but you know, opinions may change over time. So we're gonna do tournaments where we rank every single Pokemon from every single generation. Starting, of course, with the OG, the Kanto region, Generation 1. So who do you guys think will come out on top as the best Generation 1 Pokemon? Well, let's see. Without further ado, here we go. Wait a minute, hold on. Before we start, I gotta give a very special shout out to my sponsor for this video, Fluffle. If you adore anime plushies, graduation plushies, and more, then this website is for you. Use the code BCKing15 to save 15% on your first purchase. And use the link that is in the description. And come on, who wouldn't want one of these things? These things are amazing. Go get yourself a plushie because they're amazing. With that said, now let's get into the video. Alright, in our first matchup here, we have Coughing versus Pidgey. Now, I will say Pidgey is one of the more basic flying type Pokemon out there. Nothing really too mind-blowing about him. He's just got like a basic kind of bird. Coughing, though, not really that mind-blowing either, but at least he's got some personality to him. He's like this toxic, you know, gas-blowing sort of mine-looking poison Pokemon. So I'm gonna say Coughing's gonna be moving on here. Zubat versus Raticate. Now, if you guys have been a long-time viewer of the channel, you guys know we have our whole thing of Just Zubat, which is a parody of the Just Monica meme from DDLC. So yeah, Raticate's also a bit too basic for me. I mean, rats are cool and all, but I gotta go with Zubat here. Oh, this is unfair. Moltres versus Pinsir? I do like both of these. Pinsir is kind of cool, but I mean, come on, Moltres, man. Frickin' fire, phoenix bird, I gotta go with Moltres. Ooh, Abra versus Marowak. These two are pretty popular in Gen 1, I gotta say. Abra, because of the whole teleport gimmick. Marowak because of the lore behind how it got killed. So honestly, I could see either one of these moving on, but as far as which one I like more, you know, this is really tough. I do like both of these a lot. I think because I do enjoy Pokemon lore here and there, I'm gonna go with Marowak, but Abra is also a very worthy challenger here, but I'm gonna go with Marowak. Doduo versus Rapidash. I mean, Doduo's cool and all with the two heads, but it is a bit basic-y. Rapidash is like a fire horse, which is kind of cool, so I like Doduo, but I'm gonna go with Rapidash here. Onix versus Growlithe. Ooh. Now, see, if it was Onix versus Arcanine, this would be a much tougher matchup, but I do think Growlithe is cute, but I've always adored Onix. He's a freaking rock stink, for God's sake. I mean, he's gotta win here. I gotta go with Onix. Speaking of Arcanine, we got Arcanine versus Beedrill. Now, here's the thing, right? You guys know I don't like bees. I am terribly afraid of bees, but I will say Beedrill, pretty cool design. But you're up against Arcanine, who was one of my favorites of Gen 1. So I promise you, I am not voting this because I hate bees. I do like Beedrill's design, but if I have to go with one of these, I gotta go with my favorite, which is gonna be Arcanine. Charmander and Jinx. Oh boy. You guys remember the anime where Jinx was kind of stereotyped and Jinx was not seen for a long time after that? I do like Jinx's design, though, even though it is, you know, kind of sexualized and, you know, very questionable. I think Jinx is still kind of cool, but you're up against Charmander, who was my favorite Gen 1 starter, so I gotta go with Charmander. Kangaskhan versus Execute. I'm gonna be honest, I like Executor, but I don't really like Execute. I never really have. Kangaskhan, though, I like the whole gimmick of just the baby being in the pouch the whole time. Then when it Mega Evolves, it comes out of the pouch. So we'll rank Megas, by the way, in a future tournament video. Spoiler alert. But For this one, I'm gonna go with Kangaskhan. Seal versus Hitmonlee, no question. Seal is goofy and dumb, but, like, Hitmonlee is, like, you know, based on Bruce Lee, obviously, cool fighting type, I gotta go with Hitmonlee. Clefairy versus Fearow. I don't really love both of these, but if I gotta go with one, might be a shocking choice here. I do like Fearow a little bit, but I'm gonna go with Clefairy. Mr. Mime versus Poliwhirl. I mean, Poliwhirl's alright, but like, Mr. Mime like is a pretty funny Pokemon. He was in the Pikachu live-action movie, Detective Pikachu, I should say, and Ash's mom has one, you know, Mimey. Mime! So, I gotta go with Mr. Mime here. Paris and Kabutops. Oh man, remember that episode in the anime where Paris got beaten by the weakest Thunderbolt ever from Pikachu? But Paris is, it's a mushroom crab. It's all right, but like Kabutops looks fucking phenomenal with the claws and the fossilized body and the head. So gonna go with Kabutops. Diglett and Kadabra. Here's the thing. I like Abra, I don't like Kadabra that much. Diglett, though, dig. I mean, Kadabra's cool and all in its own way with the fucking spoon, but I'm gonna go with Diglett. Oh man, what do you guys think will win here? If you know me, if you're a longtime viewer, no time has to be spent on this matchup at all. Poliwag is cute, but I mean Charizard may or may not be in the finals at this point. I don't know. But, I'm gonna go with Charizard. Dragonite and Dewgong, this is kind of unfair, because, like, I do really like Dewgong, but I love Dragonite. I'm excited to see his new Mega in, Legends ZA and how it fares, so, Dewgong, I love you, you're very cool, but I gotta go. You guys know I love Dragon types, so, if you guys see a lot of Dragon types advancing these, generation tournaments coming up, then don't be surprised, because it is my favorite type of Pokemon, so gonna go with Dragonite. Ponyta versus Mankey. I mean, Ponyta is still a fire horse like Rapidash was, but Mankey is a pig monkey, which is also kind of cool here. Very close fight. I think I might go with Mankey just because of the Mystery Dungeon series. Like, the first game has the Mankey group that helps you build your rescue base, so but on an overall sense, I'd probably go with Ponyta here. Snorlax and Haunter. Ooh, I do like both of these. I love Gengar. We'll see him coming up here in a bit. But between these two, Haunter's great. I really like Haunter, but I also really like Snorlax. You know what? Might be controversial here. I think some might be more towards Snorlax, but for me, I do really like ghost types. Always have, always will. I do like Haunter's design. So, Snorlax, I really do like you. You're iconic for a reason. But for me personally, I'm gonna go with Haunter. Golduck and Magikarp, I mean, come on. Golduck is fine, but like, it's Magikarp. One of the most iconic Pokemon of all time. He's the weakest for a reason, but like, people still love him. There's a whole game called Magikarp Jump, for God's sake. Like, they made his own game, so, yeah, I gotta go with Magikarp. Bulbasaur and Caterpie. Here's the thing. I think Bulbasaur is probably my least favorite of the Gen 1 starters, but, I still like him a lot. Caterpie, also cute. You know, Ash had one, obviously, but, I'm gonna say Bulbasaur here. Voltorb and Aerodactyl. Oh, I like both of these a lot. Voltorb is just a Pokeball with eyes, but I like him, and Aerodactyl is a cool fossil Pokemon. This is really close. But if I have to choose one here to move on, I'm sorry, Voltorb, I gotta go with Aerodactyl. Aw, oh, come on. Eevee and Poliwrath. Look, Poliwrath is buff and all. I like his whole, like, muscular physique here. He looks intimidating, but I mean, come on. Eevee. Fucking Eevee. Eevee has his own game. Let's go Eevee. And Eevee's been super popular for years and years now, and I love him to death, so I gotta go with Eevee. Oh my god. Ditto versus Hitmonchan? Oh, I love both of these. Son of a bitch. Oh my god. I mean, Ditto can become literally any Pokemon. But Hitmonchan's based on Jackie Chan, and he's boxing, and he looks cool as hell. God damn it! You know what? I think I have to go based on principle here. The fact that Ditto can literally become any Pokemon in existence is kind of OP. So I'm gonna go with Ditto. Machoke versus Vulpix. Ooh, I do like Vulpix. I think I like the Alolan form better though, now that I think about it. I like the Ice Vulpix and the Ice Fairy Ninetales. Machoke though, buff as hell. He's got his whole little championship belt around his waist, so you know, I'm a wrestling fan. You guys know this. I like wrestling, so this guy being based on pretty much a pro wrestler is kind of cool, so I'm gonna go with Machoke. Psyduck and Tentacool. Tentacool is great. I mean, he had a whole banned episode on the anime based on fucking 9/11. But Psyduck, I gotta go with Psyduck. Machop or Muck? Machop isn't as cool as Machoke and Machamp, for sure. Muck, though, I mean, spell it backwards. You guys know that joke? I mean, I'm not really a huge fan of poison types, I'm gonna be honest, but I think Muck is just kind of basic but cool, if that makes sense. He's just a giant glob of poison and sludge, I guess, so, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna say Muck here. Dratini or Alakazam? Dratini is dope, but, I mean, Alakazam's got 2 fucking spoons, and, yeah, so, I didn't really like Kadabra, though. Do I like Alakazam enough to put it over Dratini? I think I do. I'm gonna go with Alakazam. Magmar or Nidoran female? I mean, I'm not really a huge fan of the Nidoran line besides Nidoking and Nidoqueen, so I'm gonna go with Magmar. Canelure or Cubone? Bro, I love Canelure. I've always loved Canelure. Cubone, you know, he has that lore like Marowak has with like his mother dying, so but honestly, like, I've always adored Canelure. I just like crabs, so you know, Cubone, I love your lore, you're cute and all, but I gotta go with Canelure. Nidoqueen or Persian? I mean, Persian's just a fucking cat with a red dot on his head. I mean, and Nidoqueen is, you know, my favorite probably of the... actually, no, I like Nidoking better, but like, you know, Team Rocket's Persian, Giovanni's Persian was cool, but like, I'm gonna go with Nidoqueen. Scyther or Butterfree? Oh man. See, I'm tempted to say Butterfree because of the anime episode where Ash releases Butterfree, which like is super emotional to this day. But Scyther, I mean, he's like one of the coolest bug types, at least one of the early bug types. Oh my god, do I go based on design more or based on impact? Because if it's impact, it's definitely Butterfree. Oh, this is a close one. You know what? I'm gonna go with design here. Butterfree, I love your episode in the anime, but I'm gonna go with Scyther. Omastar or Electabuzz? Omastar's cool. I like the whole, like, you know, kinda snail mixed with, I guess, kinda starfish vibe they're going for here with the tentacles. But, Electabuzz is also very cool. I like the pattern on his belly with the Thunderbolt. He's a pretty basic electric-type Pokemon, but between these two, I probably would say Electabuzz, so I'm gonna go with Electabuzz. Ghastly or Horsey? 2 pretty basic Pokemon. I mean, Kingdra is obviously gonna be high on my list, probably on Gen 2, but, between these two, I'd probably go with Ghastly. I mean, it's a pretty cool, like, ball of just smoke with a scary face on it, so I'm gonna go with Ghastly. Oh my god, this matchup here, Jolteon versus Gengar. Okay, so Jolteon is for sure my favorite of the original evolutions. I do like Vaporeon as well, but I'd probably say Jolteon's my favorite. Gengar, though, is like my favorite ghost type from Gen 1. God. You know what, There's other evolutions we'll get to that'll probably rank high on my lists in other generations, so I can probably forgive myself for not going with Jolteon. I'm gonna go with Gengar. Slowpoke and Venusaur, no question here. Slowpoke is dope and whatever. Venusaur, though, is pretty cool. I don't like Bulbasaur that much, but I do like Venusaur a lot, so I'm gonna go with Venusaur. Staryu and Tangela. Tangela's just alright to me. Staryu is pretty iconic. I mean, he's just a starfish with a fucking red gem in the middle of his fucking face, but I do like starfish, so I'm gonna go with Staryu. Hypno versus Tauros. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really like Hypno or Drowsy that much. I mean, If you know the lore behind Hypno, it's pretty disturbing. So, I'm gonna actually, even though Tauros I don't really like that much either, I'm gonna probably go with Tauros. Mew versus Magnemite. Also, they're using the Mew icon from the first movie poster, which is kind of weird. But against Magnemite, no contest. I gotta go with Mew here. Machamp and Arbok. Ooh, this is a good matchup. I do like Arbok a lot. Charbaka. I like the face on him, and Team Rocket obviously has one. Machamp, though, I mean, come on. Like, Machoke was already good, but then you add, like, 2 extra fucking arms on him and keep his little championship belt. I like Arbok a lot, though. I gotta go with Machamp, though. Starmie versus Golbat. I mean, Zubat was cool. Don't like Golbat that much. Starmie is, like, phenomenal. I'm gonna go with Starmie. Vileplume versus Nidorina. 2 kind of alright Pokemon for me. I don't like either one that much, but between these two, I'd probably say Vileplume. Shellder versus Mewtwo. Also, again, using... Oh, no, this is the Mewtwo pick from Mewtwo Strikes Back, right? The movie that takes place after the first movie, right? Where, like, he's on that island. That's kind of interesting, but against Shellder, I mean, fucking sweet, dude. Going with Mewtwo. Grimer versus Primeape. I didn't love Buck that much. Grimer I like even less. Primeape, though... I mean, Ash had one. It was pretty cool, so I guess I'll go with Primeape. Flareon versus Drowsy. No question here. I don't like the Drowsy line a whole lot. I do like Flareon a lot, though. Probably my least favorite of the original evolutions. I think I like Jolteon and Vaporeon a bit more than Flareon, but I'm going to go with Flareon. Lapras and Sandslash. Another no question here. Sandslash is alright, but I mean, motherfucking Lapras, gotta win here. Ammonite versus Sandshrew. These are both pretty meh to me, but between these two, I mean, I like snails, so I guess I'll go with Ammonite. Electrode and Gyarados. See, here's the thing. I do really like Electrode, but I mean, when you're up against Gyarados of all Pokemon, you really can't win a whole lot in that scenario, so... Gotta go with Gyarados. Oh, here we go. Clefable and Wigglytuff, the 2 evolutions of Clefairy and Jigglypuff. Very interesting matchup here. See, here's the thing. Clefable I like, but I mean, I'm gonna pick Wigglytuff for one reason, and you probably know where I'm going here. Mystery Dungeon, man. The Explorers of Time, Sky and Darkness, like, you know, Wigglytuff's guild. So, for that reason alone, I know it's kind of, like, not fair because it's not a mainline game, but, like, I gotta say Wigglytuff. Pidgeotto or Kabuto, I mean, they're both kind of meh. I guess I'll say, I mean, Pidgeotto is still kind of a basic bird Pokemon. I'm gonna go with Kabuto. Gloom or Rattata, I mean, Rattata is also kind of meh. I like rats, but I mean, Gloom's got, like, some personality to it with the drool and the, you know, the face, so I'm gonna go with Gloom. Articuno or Vaporeon, ooh. This might be a hot take, alright? Might be a hot take. Articuno is my least favorite of the legendary bird Pokemon. Vaporeon is not my favorite evolution, but between these two, again, might be a hot take. I'm gonna say Vaporeon. I like Articuno, don't get me wrong. I like him. But I think I have more memories with Vaporeon in terms of the games I've played. So... this is a tough matchup, but I gotta be honest here. Might be a hot take, but I'm gonna say Vaporeon. Blastoise or Geodude? Not really a question here. I like Geodude, but Blastoise I like a whole lot, so I'm gonna go with Blastoise. Alright, here we go. We're starting to see some Pokemon come back. So we got Muck versus Golem. Gotta be honest, Muck is, you know, I guess on some days I would pick Muck here, but overall I'm probably gonna say Golem, so let's go with Golem. Weepinbell versus Zapdos. No question here. I don't really like Weepinbell that much. I like Victory Bell and Bellsprout, but not really Weepinbell, so I'm gonna go with Zapdos. Pikachu and Tentacruel, I mean, do I even need to go any further? I mean, Tentacruel is fine. I like Jellyfish, but I mean, it's fucking Pikachu, man. I mean, you gotta go with Pikachu for most cases here. I'm gonna go with Pikachu. Porygon and Chansey? Ooh, this is a good matchup, actually. Porygon versus Chansey. I do really like Chansey, but like Porygon is a pretty cool design, and it's got that iconic band episode with the fucking red and blue flashing. So Even though Chansey is cute, it's a nice Pokemon, it's very heartwarming, I'm gonna go with Porygon. Exeggutor or Parasect? Parasect is terrifying, man. The fact that it has no eyes and it's like some sort of zombie-looking crab. But, honestly, I like both of these a lot, but between these two, I'd probably say Exeggutor, so let's go with that one. Slowbro or Weedle? They're both kind of whatever to me. I mean, Weedle is fine, Slowbro is even, like, it's kind of equal amount of fine, so between these two, I'd probably just go with Slowbro. Ninetales or Lickitung. Look, alright? You guys know I love my boy Roger's base. His favorite Pokemon of all time is Lickitung, but against Ninetales, I can't have Lickitung win here. I'm sorry, Roger. I'm really sorry, but, Lickitung is cool, don't get me wrong, I still like him, but in this tournament, I gotta go with the one that I think is the better Pokemon, and between these two, I like Lickitung, but Ninetales to me is the better Pokemon, so I'm gonna go with Ninetales. Victory Bell or Magneton? I'd probably say Victory Bell. We just got the reveal of Mega Victory Bell in Legend ZA. Magneton is just 3 Magneton, or Magnemite stuck together, not really that creative. I'm gonna go with Victory Bell. Seaking or Dragonair? Seaking is kind of just that to me. Dragonair, though, is cool with, like, the wings for ears and the slender, you know, snake body, so gonna go with Dragonair. Meowth or Charmeleon? Ooh, I mean, Meowth is iconic. I mean, Team Rocket's Meowth is, like, one of the most iconic Pokemon out there. Charmeleon, I also really like, but like, I'm gonna be honest, like, a lot of these second Evo starters I probably won't really pick because they're mostly just meh. Charmeleon, though, is cool, I will admit, but between these two, I'd probably go with Meowth. Dodrio or Krabby? I mean, we voted for Kinler earlier. I do like crabs, as I mentioned. Do I like Krabby enough to put it over Dodrio, though? Because Dodrio was cool with the 3 heads. I'd probably say yeah. I just like crabs too much. I'm gonna go with Krabby. Kakuna or Nidorino? I mean, I did mention I'm not a huge fan of the Nidoran line in general, besides the 2 final Evos, so I'm gonna probably say Kakuna, even though it's not that cool either. I'm gonna say Kakuna. Squirtle or Rhyhorn? Rhyhorn, I like Rhinos, but it's kind of just a meh Pokemon to me. Squirtle is not my favorite Kanto starter, but I still like it a lot. You know, Squirtle Squad is a huge memory for me in the Kanto anime, so gonna go with Squirtle. Weezing or Nidoran male? Just mentioned I'm not a huge fan of the Nidoran line. Weezing is also pretty cool. We'll get to the Galar version, which is, like, spoiler, gonna be pretty high up there on the Gen 8 tournament list. So, gonna go with Weezing here. Rhydon or Venomoth? Huh. I'd probably say Rhydon because, like, you know, it's also, like, not one that I love, but, like, between this and Venomoth, I mean, Venomoth is kind of a less cooler version of Butterfree, in my opinion. So, and there's other butterfly mods we'll get to later that I think are better than Venomoth, so, I'm gonna say Rhydon here. Spearow or Pidgeot? 2 pretty average bird Pokemon, but between these two, Spearow is a little less average than Pidgeot. I mean, Pidgeot's got the cool, like, hairstyle to it at least, so, I'm gonna go with Pidgeot. Dugtrio or Wartortle? Not really a huge fan of Wartortle. I do like Blastoise, but again, I did mention before how, like, the second Evo starters are mostly meh across every generation, so Wartortle was kind of in that field. So I'm gonna say just barely Dugtrio. Goldeen or Bellsprout? No question. Goldeen's a bit too meh for me. I do really like Bellsprout. Look at his little legs! Look at the little legs! Like, how can you not love those? He's very basic, but I mean, he's cute. Like, he's very just, you know, he's that cute mon you just want on your team immediately when you first see him, so I'm gonna go with Bellsprout. Graveler or Seadra? Seadra is not quite as cool as Kingdra, but between these two, I'd probably still say Seadra, so I'm gonna go with Seadra. Ivysaur or Farfetch? Again, argument here, I don't like a whole lot of the second Evo starters. Ivysaur is pretty alright, but I've always adored Farfetch with the fucking leak, so I'm gonna go with Farfetch. Ekans or Venonat? Look, alright, I love snakes. I really do. I've always loved snakes. Even though Arbok didn't win his matchup, I think Ekans here has to win his, so I'm gonna go with Ekans. Nidoking or Jigglypuff? Oh my god. See, here's the thing, another anime reference here, because I have to put this in there. Jigglypuff's song. Jigglypuff, Jigglypuff. But I do really like Nidoking. I really do. Oh my god. I hate that I have to use the anime for a lot of these choices, because I've seen the entire anime, so I have to, like, you know, bring in my memories of the anime for some of these Pokemon, and Jigglypuff has a lot of them for me. So, you know what? I think anime memories have to win here. I'm gonna go with Jigglypuff. Cloyster versus Oddish, no contest here. Oddish is kind of meh, but Cloyster is this fucking scary-looking oyster Pokemon with a cool face, so I'm gonna go with Cloyster. Metapod or Raichu? This might be a very hot take. I've really never liked Raichu. I like the Alolan form, for sure. But the original Raichu, I've never really grown to like that much. Metapod, though, for some reason, I kind of like how basic and just simple he is. He's a freaking just green cocoon with a very bored face, but, like, for some reason, he's got some charm to him. I don't know what it is, but, like, yeah, between these two, I don't like Raichu that much. I'm gonna actually go with Metapod. Stop! Now she'll die a virgin. Stop! Stop it! Okay. Stop. Okay.
Stay the fuck in the fucking car!
Oh, fuck! That was a sneak peek of all the content that you might be missing out on by not becoming a YouTube member. When you're a YouTube member, you get so much bonus content, such as all my anime watch-throughs, classic content like old Twitch streams, movie watch-alongs, and more. So what are you waiting for? Hit the join button down below, pick the tier you want, and enjoy all the benefits that come with your YouTube membership. If you're already a member, thank you for your support, enjoy your benefits, and now let's get back into the video. Alright, here we go. Now we're starting to get repeats of ones that, you know, well, we've already gotten a repeat originally, but already, sorry, I can't even talk anymore. We're getting repeats more often now, so here we go. We got Koffing versus Zubat. I'm gonna go a little bit quick on these, because I've already talked about a lot of these already. I saw already 3 times, whatever. Koffing versus Zubat. Koffing's cool, gonna go with Zubat. Moltres versus Marowak. Marowak's got some lore to him, love it, but Moltres is a fucking fire phoenix, gotta go with Moltres. Rapidash versus Onix. I do like the Rock Snake and the Fire Horse. Between these two, I think Fire Horse, or no, you know what? No. Gotta go with Rock Snake. I'm gonna go with Onix. Arcanine versus Charmander. Oh shit. My 2 probably favorite fire types of Gen 1 besides Moltres, of course. Charmander, best starter in Kanto. Arcanine, though, better fire type. I'm gonna go with Arcanine. Kangaskhan versus Hitmonlee. I like Kangaskhan, love the baby, but I'm gonna go with Hitmonlee on this one. Clefairy and Mr. Mime. Clefairy's just alright to me. Mr. Mime, though, is a pretty iconic Pokemon, especially in the anime, so to go with Mr. Mime. Kabutops versus Diglett. Kind of a tough matchup here, but between these two, I'd probably say Kabutops. Oh my god. Charizard versus Dragonite? I mean, Charizard has to win here, obviously, but, like, against Dragonite? Another top 10 Kantomon for me? Ugh. Sorry, Dragonite, I love you, but you can't beat Charizard. He's got to move on. Ponyta versus Haunter. Ponyta, I also like the whole Fire Horse gimmick, as I mentioned earlier, but I'm gonna go with Haunter here. Magikarp versus Bulbasaur. Look, Bulbasaur, again, is my least favorite Kanto starter, so for that reason, I gotta go with Magikarp here, but Bulbasaur is cool, I will admit that, but Magikarp has to win here. Aerodactyl versus Eevee. Might be a hot take. I like Aerodactyl a lot. Very cool fossil Pokemon, but Eevee, man. Eevee has to win here. Ditto versus Machoke. Again, I love the whole wrestler gimmick with Machoke here, but Ditto can become any Pokemon in existence, so gotta go with the OP Pokemon and pick Ditto here. Psyduck versus Muck. Again, anime kind of has to win here, I think, with Misty Psyduck. Psyduck. I'm gonna win. Alakazam versus Magmar. Magmar's kind of alright. Alakazam is I don't love Alakazam, but I think he's definitely cooler than Magmar, so I'm gonna go with Alakazam. Kingler versus Nidoqueen, oh boy. You know what? I think most of you might go Nidoqueen, but I'm kind of a hot take bitch over here today, so I'm gonna go with Kingler. Scyther versus Electabuzz, both cool. I'd probably say Scyther. Oh, come on. Ghastly versus Gengar, the fucking evolution line against each other now? I mean, Gengar's gonna win, obviously, but Ghastly is also cool as hell, but I'm gonna pick Gengar. Venusaur versus Staryu. Oh, man. Do I love Staryu enough to put it over Venusaur? Probably not, but, like, you know, respectable showing for Staryu. I'm gonna go with Venusaur, though. Tauros versus Mew. I mean, kind of a no contest here. Tauros is kind of cool, but, like, Mew is, like, you know, he's fucking Mew, so I'm gonna go with Mew. Machamp versus Starmie. I like both of these a lot, but I gotta go with the pro wrestler gimmick here, just based on personal preference. I'm gonna go with Machamp. Vileplume versus Mewtwo, that's kind of unfair. I mean, Vileplume is cool and all, but against Mewtwo, here's the thing, right? I'm gonna say right now, don't be surprised at all if the final match here is Mewtwo versus Charizard. It probably is going to be at this point, unless they go up against Killer before the finals, so Mewtwo is for sure gonna win here. Primeape versus Flareon. Again, Flareon's not my favorite evolution, but I probably would put it over Primeape, so let's go with Flareon. Lapras versus Ammonite. Another no contest here. Ammonite's whatever. Lapras is cool as hell. Lapras is gonna win. Gyarados versus Wigglytuff. Now, see, here's the thing. I'm sorry, Mystery Dungeon. That's not quite enough to put Wigglytuff over Gyarados for me personally, so I'm gonna go with Gyarados. Kabuto versus Gloom. Both kind of meh, but again, I look more for personality here, and I think Gloom has more personality on its face than Kabuto has, which doesn't really have a face, to be honest, so I'm gonna go with Gloom. Vaporeon versus Blastoise, two amazing water types. You know what? I actually might have a hot take here. Another one. I love Blastoise, but, like, I think I might love Vaporeon a bit more, and no, not because of the fucking Vaporeon joke that you probably know by now. So, I'm gonna go with Vaporeon. Golem versus Zapdos. Really a no contest here once again. Golem is pretty alright, but I mean, Zapdos is my favorite of the legendary birds, so I'm gonna go with Zapdos. Pikachu versus Porygon. This is a good matchup right here. Look, Pikachu, he's the icon of Pokemon, he's the mascot, but I can't put Pikachu over Porygon in my opinion. I think Porygon's design is just way too unique to have it not win here, so I'm gonna say Porygon. Exeggutor versus Slowbro. Slowbro does have that bit of derpiness to him with the fucking face and the tail, but like Exeggutor has always been, I think, a bit underrated in my opinion, so I'm gonna say Exeggutor. Ninetales versus Victreebel. Victreebel, I love you, but like Ninetales is one of my favorites, I think, so Ninetales is gonna win here. Dragonair versus Meowth. Ooh, tough matchup here. Meowth is iconic. I mean, you know, Team Rocket's Meowth we mentioned earlier, but like Dragonair, that body with the wings and the fucking tail at the end and the slender fucking sexy ass snake body. I'm gonna actually say Dragonair. Krabby versus Kakuna. I mean, Kakuna barely passed his round, so, and I love crabs, as I mentioned earlier, so gonna go with Krabby. Squirtle versus Weezing. Squirtle, I would say, is just barely above Weezing, but these both can be either way, in my opinion, but I'm gonna go with Squirtle. Rhydon versus Pidgeot. I like birds more than rhinos, in my opinion, and Pidgeot, I think, looks a bit cooler than Rhydon does with the fucking hair, so gonna go with Pidgeot. Dugtrio versus Bellsprout. I'm gonna say just barely Bellsprout. Seadra versus Farfetch. You can't beat the leak, man. I'm sorry, Seadra. We'll get to Kingdra in Gen 2, which will be a lot higher, I think, but for this one, I'm gonna actually go with Farfetch. Ekans versus Jigglypuff. I mean, I love snakes, but I also love Jigglypuff in the anime. Fuck. I gotta go with Jigglypuff. Cloyster versus Metapod. Metapod just barely passed his round like Akuna did with the personality to him, but against Cloyster, can't really win there in my opinion, so Cloyster has to win. Zubat versus Moltres, kind of unfair, but obviously Moltres has to win. Onix versus Arcanine. I'm gonna actually go with Arcanine. Hitmonlee versus Mr. Mime. Mr. Mime, I love you in the anime, but against Hitmonlee, even though you probably would beat him in a type matchup, I'm gonna go with Hitmonlee. Kabutops versus Charizard. I mean, do I have to say anything? Obviously Charizard. Haunter versus Magikarp. Unfair matchup, but honestly, Magikarp, I love you. You're derpy as hell. You're the weakest Pokemon, but I gotta go with Haunter. Oh, Eevee versus Ditto? Oh, this is getting hard. Fuck. Crap. Eevee versus Ditto. You know what? Even though Ditto can become any Pokemon, I think Eevee has to win here. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go with Eevee. Psyduck versus Alakazam. Look, Psyduck is a cool Pokemon in the anime, but I'm probably going to say Alakazam. Kingler versus Scyther. I would say just barely, like a little tiny hair, I'd probably say actually Scyther, but Kingler is also very, very cool. But Scyther's going to win here. Gengar versus Venusaur. Look, I like Venusaur. Not my favorite final starter, Evo and Kanto. Gengar is like one of my favorites. I'm going to go with Gengar. Mew versus Machamp. Machamp, I'm sorry, I love your pro wrestler gimmick, but against Mew, you kind of have a low chance of winning, and you're not going to win this one. Mewtwo versus Flareon. Oh boy, we might get Mewtwo versus Mew in the next round. That'd be crazy. But Mewtwo is definitely going to win here. Lapras versus Gyarados. Oh boy, two amazing water-type Pokemon. I'm gonna say, again, by the tiniest margin possible, I love Lapras, but I'm gonna say Gyarados. Gloom versus Vaporeon, kind of a no contest here. I'm gonna go with Vaporeon. Zapdos versus Porygon. Porygon's got the great design to him. Love it, but I mean, Zapdos is a very amazing flying-type Pokemon. Legendary bird is what I meant to say, but, yeah, I'm gonna go with Zapdos. Exeggutor versus Ninetales. This is where Exeggutor has to unfortunately meet his end here. I'm gonna go with Ninetales. Dragonair versus Krabby. If it was Kingler, it'd be a harder matchup, but against Krabby, I think Dragonair definitely has to win here. Squirtle versus Pidgeot. Pidgeot's got the cool hairstyle, but I'd probably still go with Squirtle. Bellsprout versus Farfetch. I'm gonna actually... Again, might be a hot take here. I'm known for that, but I'm gonna actually go with Bellsprout. Jigglypuff versus Cloyster. I think this might be where... Oh, actually, you know what? Maybe another hot take here? I'm gonna stick with Jigglypuff because of the anime. Again, like, I have so many memories of the anime with Jigglypuff, so I'm gonna go with Jigglypuff. Oh, here we go. Moltres versus Arcanine. Ooh. You know what? This is very, very close. But if I have to pick one... I gotta go with the Fire Phoenix and pick Moltres. Obvious matchup here, Hitmonlee versus Charizard, gonna go with Charizard. Haunter versus Eevee. Haunter, I love you, but I think Eevee has to be the winner here. Alright, we are nearing the end here. We got Alakazam versus Scyther. I would probably say by a kind of small margin, I would probably go with Scyther. Gengar versus Mew. I'm sorry, Gengar. Best ghost type in Gen 1, but I'm gonna go with Mew here. Mewtwo versus Gyarados, that's a good matchup, but obviously Gyarados is great, but Mewtwo has to win. Vaporeon versus Zapdos, I mean, not because of the type advantage, but I'm gonna actually go with Zapdos. Ninetales versus Dragonair. Ooh, you know what? I kind of like foxes a bit more than like snake dragon things, so and it has 9 tails. I mean, come on. So I'm gonna go with Ninetales. Squirtle versus Bellsprout. I think Bellsprout might actually win here by a very, very tiny margin. I don't know why. I just love Bellsprout. I don't know why, but like, you know what? Might be a hot take. I'm gonna go with Bellsprout. Jigglypuff versus Moltres. Okay, this is where Jigglypuff has to meet their end finally. I'm sorry, Jigglypuff. You're fantastic in the anime. I love your song, but you can't beat Moltres. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go with Moltres. Oh my god. Charizard versus Eevee. Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Charizard has to win here, but I'm so mad that Eevee is not at least in the semifinals. But, yeah, I'm gonna go with Charizard. Scyther versus Mew. We're in the quarterfinals now, by the way. Scyther versus Mew. I'm gonna say Mew is definitely gonna win here. Mewtwo versus Zapdos, a battle of the legendaries. Very tiny margin here. I'm gonna go with Mewtwo. Bro, we're getting Mew versus Mewtwo in the fucking semifinals. That's crazy. So we'll get to there when we get there. But, Ninetales versus Bellsprout. Bellsprout, I think, has to be the Zen here, unfortunately. Bellsprout has been doing good this whole entire tournament, but I can't put you above Ninetales. I'm sorry. Gonna go with Ninetales. Moltres versus Charizard. Two amazing fire types. Probably my two favorites in all of Kanto, but of course, I gotta go with Charizard. Here we go! The rematch of the century from the very first Pokemon movie. We got Mew versus Mewtwo. Now, even though their battle did end in kind of a draw in the movie, one of them has to actually win here. And honestly, you know what? I think Mewtwo probably would have beat Mew in the movie if the battle went on for longer. And even in this tournament, I probably would say Mewtwo is better than Mew. So, I think the finals are going to be what I think it is. Just saying, so let's go ahead and go with Mewtwo. Charizard versus Ninetales, that is not what I thought would be in the semifinals, by the way. I thought it might be like Charizard versus Gyarados, but obviously Charizard is going to win here. Oh my goodness, this is exactly what I said earlier that the finals would be. Mewtwo versus Charizard, my two favorite Kanto Pokemon. I knew it had to be this. I'm so happy they didn't go against each other in the tournament earlier, because this has to be the finals. There is no other finals for this generation that it could be besides these two against each other. There's no way. No way in hell. So we got Mewtwo versus Charizard. Now, if you guys know me, I'm gonna spoil it here, just saying. Charizard is my favorite non-legendary Pokemon of all time. Now, if we're including legendaries, Mewtwo would still be below Charizard. I think Mewtwo, for me, is like a top 5 legendary of all time. But if we're talking, like, overall, like, top 10 Pokemon, period, I'd probably say Charizard is for sure above Mewtwo. So, I am just so glad that this is the final, because it couldn't be anything else. But Charizard is going to win here. And there you go, folks. There is my favorite Gen 1 Pokemon. Shouldn't be a surprise to any of you who are a longtime viewer. I've said it before on numerous occasions. I adore Charizard. Always have, always will. He is my favorite non-legendary Pokemon of all time in all of Pokemon. So, should have been kind of a no-brainer who was going to end up winning here and what the finals would be with Mewtwo versus Charizard. So, hope y'all enjoyed, but who is your favorite Gen 1 Pokemon? Let me know in the comments down below, and in the meantime, make sure you guys subscribe, ring the bell, and smash that like button for more tournaments coming in the future. And I'll have a link down below, as always, in the pinned comment. You guys can go check out this tournament bracket for yourself and see who wins your tournament. So, we'll see how you guys do, I guess. But I guess I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye, everybody!